What up, D-League? Welcome to Week 12. I've had the meat sweats for about 4 days, but I'm pumped up and ready to go. I'm going to start off this week by taking a look at how we did last week in picks. Last week I started my new streak of going 2-3. I still showed that I can't pick my games for shit, and Dave broke my heart whenever he lost to Trav. It brings my total up to 24-21. Those losses are really creeping up on the wins there. Let's take a look now at our Rapist of the Week.
Well, obviously we have a rapist.
I'll take the rapists for 200.
He's climbing in your windows. He's snatching your people up, trying to rape them. So y'all need to hide your kids, hide your wife, and hide your husband because they raping everybody out here.
Rapist coming. Don't get raped.
Alright, our Rapist of the Week this week is Jamie. Jamie edged me out last week to get his title back. Jamie took Adam to the woodshed last week to show him what kind of man he was by putting up 129.44 points to lock himself back into first place. Adam's not going to walk right for a week. Alright, let's take a look now at our biggest loser of the week.
Bitch, I'm about to ball this.
IQ of 48, and am what some people call mentally retarded.
He was retarded.
I'm a driver, I'm a winner. Things are gonna change, I can feel it.
Only reason I'm crying is because of the adrenaline.
Technically our loser of the week this week is James, but for the first time ever I'm making this a dual losers of the week for their combined pathetic effort. The best outcome of their game would have been if they both grabbed the nearest pair of scissors and just started running around wildly. Every team in the league scored over 100 points last week, except for these two. Together, these dynamic dipshits combined for 122.54 points. What that means is that together, they couldn't have beat 3 teams in the league last week. Job well done, fellas. Let's take a look now at trades and waivers. So last week we saw Travis and Colin Steve Smith for Mike Goodson and Sean's second round 2011 pick. Travis hasn't had a history of making bad trades, so the only thing I can come up with is that he must have bumped his head last week. One of Colin's few shots at improving his team over the next couple of years was that second round pick in 2011. It's looking like this is probably going to be about a mid-round 2011 second round pick, which means that the hit rate's going to be terribly low on it. Colin basically got a veteran Pro Bowl wide receiver for a temporary running back and a half-ass pick. I can't believe I'm saying this, but good work, Colin. Let's take a look now at our matchups. Alright, so first up we got Mind Grapes taking on Vic in a Box. I'm coming into this at 5-6, Colin's coming into this at 7-4. It's like Christmas come early. I get to play with Vic in a Box this week. Colin needs this win if he wants to keep any hope of his playoff run alive. And I need this win if I have any hope of even trying to squeak into the bottom of it. The latter seems very unlikely. I'd like to say that I have my quarterback, but as we saw in the last couple of weeks, Vic can carry a team on his back by himself. So I'm probably going to say at quarterback we're at a wash there. Although I am very interested to see if Vincent Jackson does jack or shit this week. My guess is he'll probably pull a hammy first couple plays. I just wish I had enough faith in a guy who hasn't played a snap of football since playoffs of 2009 to go out there and perform so I could start him. I'm actually going to say I probably have the advantage at wide receiver, although I do think that Deshaun's probably the best wide receiver between the two of us, and he could definitely switch that dynamic around. At running back right now, Colin's probably got the edge. My running backs have been very hit or miss this year. McCoy's about as consistent as it gets, and since Vic got back into the lineup, he's not that consistent. Both of our tight ends should probably just kill themselves, especially after hearing that Lewis is probably going to spend most of this game blocking. Special teams is pretty much a wash. In the end, I think Colin's going to find a way to pull this victory out of his ass, unfortunately. Alright, next up we got Team Disenchantment taking on Casey Reunited. James is coming in this at 4-7, Sean's sitting at 5-6. Despite his best efforts, Tankatron might actually win a game this week. This isn't due to the hot 1.8 that his tight end Hernandez put up, but more due to the fact that Sean's team struggled on Thursday. Sean had Brady go buck wild. Unfortunately, 21 of those points were to Wes Welker. Owens and Braylon look like, well, Owens and Braylon of old. Terrell picked a good week to talk shit to Revis. Steve Johnson, though, while having one of the lamest last names a man can have, is playing out of his mind right now. Not sure it'll be enough, though, to make up for his teammates only putting up 4 points combined. James should get a passable amount of points out of his quarterback and his wide receivers. All the running backs in this matchup are nice. I do think that Sean does have the better set of them, but if the 49ers have any chance of winning, it's going to be on the back of Gore, which could help James out a lot. I think Tammy's probably a lock to outpace Hernandez at the tight end spot. I'm going to give James the nod here, even though he'll probably find a way to throw the game. Alright, next up we have Rainbow Warriors taking on Sunday. Dave's coming into this at 5-6. Nate's coming into this at 2-9. Although I never thought I'd say this with Dave, this is our toilet bowl matchup of the week. Dave's on a 4-game losing skid for the ages. On Thursday, Dave got almost 18 points at a law firm, which helped makes up for the 4.5 that he got from starting Danny Woodhead. Nate ended up with 9 points out of Sean Green, which is actually pretty good for him. At quarterback, Dave's back to starting the wildly inconsistent shop, but this week he's taking on the stud Aaron Rodgers. Clearly Rodgers gets the nod between the two of them. Dave definitely gets the nod at wide receiver, but I will say that Brandon Lloyd is playing some pretty crazy football right now. Ward and Washington are both serviceable, but they'll have a lot of work to do to keep up with Wayne and White. Between the two of them, I actually like Nate's tight end better, but Dave definitely has him taken in special teams. In the end, I think Dave pulls this out, even though that isn't something he's well known for, but I have been fooled before. Alright, next up we got Been There, Raped That, taking on Here Comes Treble. Jamie's coming into this at 8-3, Travis coming into this at 7-4. This is our marquee matchup of the week. Trav needs this win to keep a fighting chance at the playoffs. Jamie needs this win so he doesn't have to hear from Travis about how he beat him. On Thursday, Breeze only got 16 points, which actually isn't that good for him. Manning actually has a very good shot of outpacing that. Jamie obviously this week has his juggernauts at wide receiver. Holmes has already put up 10 points on Thursday night. And at running back, he's starting AP and Foster over Ronnie Brown and Mike Batson. Jamie should have him there as well. We've got a banged-up Vernon Davis taking on a banged-up Antonio Gates. Between the two of them, I actually would rather have the banged-up Antonio Gates. And between the two of them, I actually like Trav more at special teams. Mayo's also already put up a monster day on Thursday. In the end, unfortunately, I think Jamie wins this, but it'd be nice to see Trav put up a good fight. Alright, next up we got Seppuku taking on Mavericks. Adam's coming into this at 5-6, Dan's coming into this at 7-4. Dan's win streak may have been broken, but this will still be a battle between two teams who put up way more points than they should. Ryan vs. Flacco is actually a pretty interesting battle. I think Baltimore has more weapons at its disposal, but Ryan's actually playing better as a quarterback. Dan's wide receivers are actually very solid, but I'm actually going to say Adam has a little bit of an edge this week, and here's why. On Thursday, Dez only got 4 points, even though Calvin got 15. Fitzgerald is pretty much stuck in a terrible quarterback situation right now. On Adam's side, all three of his wide receivers are actually producing pretty solidly right now. And I think between the three of them, they'll actually outpace Dan's wide receivers this week. At running back, Adam should have the advantage, even though Peyton Hillis is playing like a monster right now. At tight end, I'll actually give Adam the nod here because I don't think Winslow is a lock to put up more than 9 points. On special teams, I actually like Dan more between the two of them, but I'm sure Adam's tracking a whole list of shitty defensive players that he could start anytime soon. In the end, I think Adam's actually going to win this game, though.
Wrap that shit up, B.
Alright, well that's going to wrap it up for us this week, folks. Good luck on your fantasy games this weekend. I can't wait to get shit-faced at the Big 12 Championship game and then come back and record the preview. See you next week.